Ryan doing a tag
In the
team right there on the
words
lights.
of my learned friend Ryan Boniface, shut up. Inspiration Nation, hello, Lee Kemp here for another week on the podcast with Jose Noya and Ryan Boniface. How are we doing, guys?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Yep, very well, thank you.
Glad
Hey,
to hear it.
Frizzle said, but before you start, shush Lee.
Sorry,
Shut up.
Frizzle,
Right.
sorry. I'll respect the rules.
Frizzle says, hello, Jose and the podcast boys.
Love
References
it.
you as boys. You're the boys.
I thought you were saying that Frizzle was telling me to shut up there, which I would have taken because he's the
No,
moderator, so I will follow the rules.
Not yet.
It's
Let's just say not
show
yet. Frizzle, you've got a reputation, Frizzle. You hear that? You've got a reputation already. Yeah.
Right, so
Go on, Lee.
I am up for a subject and a discussion this week. People are pouring in, by the way, on TikTok. Jose Noya, Inspirational Nation. Put it in Google machine. Follow Jose on TikTok and YouTube, and you'll know when we're going live each and every week, as well as all the other great content in between, especially, and we're talking about before we hit record, Jose kicking trolls out of the room. He is ruthless. So if you want to see some of that, get over to his TikTok, see those videos, share them, like them. It is great stuff. Oh, look at that. People are doing it. Brilliant. That's what we like to see. Right, so
Yeah.
where was I? Quotes. Me, I'm up. So this week I'm going to give you a quote from a John Holt, who I did have to Google, and he is a Jamaican reggae singer. And his quote is, the true test of character is not how much we know how to do, but how we behave when we don't know what to do. That is again, the true test of character is not how much we know how to do, but how we behave when we don't know what to do. And as Jose likes to do, Jose, what are your thoughts on that quote you've heard 5 seconds ago?
Right, I've got some thoughts already on this one. I like this. Yeah, I like this because it is, isn't it? Like, when you don't know what to do, how do you come across? You know, are you the learner? Like, is you the learner, or are you the person that just tries to blag it? One of the two comes out, maybe. I think curiosity is really key around this. So that's, for me, is like, you know, it's when you don't know what's going to come out and present itself, and can you be comfortable in not knowing and being curious? Because that's actually a big coaching thing, because when you coach, you don't have to be the expert, and that's a real thing that I've had to go through. So yeah, that's my initial thoughts, Lee.
Like, I just want to say as well, oh, sorry, Ryan, you go.
I was going to say, I'm not really sure Joe gave us an insight there after his 5 seconds of thought. It was just a hodgepodge of words.
This is pick on
right.
Jose.
Let me slow it down, Ryan. Right, let me just slow that.
Here we go. Okay.
The main point, Ryan, with this was, when you're a coach, you don't have to be the expert, right?
Right.
So the whole point around this is how you behave when you don't know what you're doing, right? Or you don't know, you're not the expert or subject matter expert.
Sure.
And that's what I was referring, that's what referencing.
Okay,
I just probably
all
spoke
right.
too quickly. I do that. So apologies, Ryan, to you and your ears. Just apologising.
No, all good, mate. All good. I hear you loud and clear this time.
For the evolution of Joe over 5 years to that brutal put down there, I applaud you.
That was
100%. That was the most
I feel like
passive-aggressive,
my dad's
sarcastic
just
thing
told
I've
me
ever
off.
heard. And
I feel like my dad's just told me off.
I loved every second of that.
It's because I feel so comfortable. Like, it's your fault, you two. You've made me so comfortable in this situation that I feel I can do these things. You're very, very kind to me. That's what it is.
I just noticed I always do the name tags are the wrong way around on YouTube, so I'm going to very professionally move them around with my mouse while we are live, because I feel like that's what all the pros do. There we go. Right, it's now correct. So oh, sorry, Ryan, did you have any thoughts other than roasting Jose before I loop back on my quote?
I didn't roast Jose. I got roasted by Jose. I think a true test of somebody is when you put them in a situation where they're uncomfortable and they don't quite know what to do or what to think. I know I definitely struggle in scenarios like that. I put on a big front that I always genuinely feel like I know the answer to stuff, and then try and blag my way through it. I'm definitely a blagger. I think that also comes from, you know, the amount of times that Lee's spoken about winging stuff and dealing with things as they are or on the fly, or, you know, we've talked about that loads on the podcast. I think I would like to think that I assume Lee will say something similar, but I'm definitely a blagger in scenarios like that. And fake it till you make it is a phrase I like to use. Although Lee has frozen
Lee's
on my
frozen.
screen.
So let me
No,
just fill
I'm
in for
just
Lee. So
listening
yeah,
intently.
I know that uncomfortable feeling. Oh, you have
Oh no,
frozen
no,
the
sorry,
screen
I
though.
had.
Oh,
Yeah, I just got a
oh
note
yeah.
You back
saying
now?
my internet's connection is unstable, so that might have affected the YouTube. Hopefully, not too much. Sorry, everyone, for that. That doesn't normally happen. That's weird. There was a BT OpenReach van sitting outside the front of my house, so maybe they're poking around some wires up the street or something like that. So I was sitting very still though, and I thought that's why it looked like I was frozen, but I was actually frozen. Anyway, what I'd say with this, yeah, from my view of this, is, I mean, one thing I get to a point in conversation to people who talk about this is that comfort that it's okay not to know everything. I think that's the first thing. Is that I come across a lot of people who feel like it's a weakness if they don't know everything, if they don't know the answer to every question they're asked, if they don't know how to do anything, and it almost exposes a weakness if they have to acknowledge they don't know how to something or they need to learn something, which is the first thing to, because that's a real thing that I think holds people back, because actually that confidence to be like, I don't know, but I'll find out, or I don't know, I'll learn, or I don't know, but this person over here does, is a real strength to be able to lean into that and free yourself from that kind of shackle. So I think that's one of those. Is it, you know, do you become defensive? Do you just make stuff up? Is it, do you yourself go into an insecurity spiral when you don't know how to do something, and dealing with that concept, I guess, that I've seen people work through and come out the other side of and feel a lot better about how they are and what they do because of it. And I think the other bit is that, like we said, it's the process of learning. It's being comfortable to learn things more. Which, for me, and what I do, it leans into my whole backlog approach, if you think on things. So at the moment, there's a couple of things I'm doing. One's a little project to do with coding, which I know very little about. And the other thing we talked just before is going to be a project to do with building work, mostly kind of like a carpentry, woodworking sort of thing, where I know what I want to do as a concept, but I do not know all the steps to go through to do it. And the risk is, again, in how you don't know what to do, is you become overwhelmed. Oh, I need to know this. I need to know this. What about this? What about this? What about this? So I'm doing a thing where I break it down into steps, and I just need to worry about what's right. What do I need to learn for this? What do I need to understand? How do I do this? Right, that bit's done. Next step. What do I need to learn? What have I learned from the last step? What's gone wrong that I need to adapt and evolve the plan for? And being really comfortable just taking this step-by-step incremental approach to what I'm doing, knowing that I do not know everything I need to do, but I also don't need to be an expert in it to learn. As a lot of people I'm a practical learner, so learn from doing, and that's how I'm treating it. So I think one is what's your internal process? How do you get over that hump, that not making learning too big and being comfortable to go into learning new things? And the second is that that, and I've seen it, that defensiveness when you don't know things, and that it's okay to not know things and be open with people and even learn with them and what those things are. Learning was the kind of subset that this quote sounded when I was looking for things. There's quite a few good ones, but I really want to do something on that kind of, you know, it always learning new things, always either reinventing itself or just adding new things to your wheelhouse, I think, is kind of that message that I want to portray. That's a lot there. I did a Jose. I'll shut up for a second and give you guys a chance to reflect on that.
You did your own shutting up.
I made you.
No, I love that. No, I really love that, Lee. No, and I think I'm just trying to recall a time, you know, another example for me was that, you know, when I started training, I think there's that pressure. The trainer thinks, oh, I've got to know all the answers, but it's actually the power, like you said, Lee, that actually the trainer doesn't know everything, and you're not meant to. You know, you're training something out, and it's okay to say I don't know. And a character that at the minute is a very controversial character called Elon Musk. I don't know, you might know him.
Of him. I don't know, what does he do?
You might have heard of him. Bit controversial at the minute, but what I really, you know, enjoyed about what he said once, I saw his thing on YouTube, and he said about AI, and he said, how can we? What if I think it was like questions around, if AI went bad, what would you do? And he said, I don't know. So if he could say I don't know, and you know, people who are very highly intelligent that I would say are in certain areas, well, that's okay, right? That's okay, because there's some things, you know, that I don't agree with each other, but like in terms of what he's done, like Tesla and the rocket and everything, it's just crazy good. If he can say I don't know, then it's okay for us to say I don't know. I think that for me is the example of someone who can admit I don't know what to do when things like that happen. So I think it's like you said, there's power in that, isn't there?
It
But
absolutely
like
is.
Ryan says, we can all feel that. And there is, hey, I'm not going to lie. There has been times when I've like Ryan, I've blagged it, but I really try and lean into that I don't know. And as I've got older, I've definitely leaned into a lot more of that. And with coaching, definitely leaning into that. Like, I don't know, but I can ask a question of them
Yeah.
to see what they want
And
to do to move
sometimes it
forward. So
is.
that's why the power of it. Yeah,
And
go on.
Ryan, you used the phrase for it, fake it before you make it. But so, and I've had this with things where I've been in a position to coach people on something that's quite new, and actually they don't know as much as I don't know. So realistically, all I had to do was stay one step ahead of them, and they don't need to know that because there's a confidence that comes. So again, it's the right thing for the right room. Sometimes it's asking questions and not buying into like knowledge being power and saying being all right to say I don't know, but I'll find out all that stuff. And sometimes you've got to give the confidence to people that you're going to support them through it. But in reality, you've again got that confidence to know it's okay because actually, as long as I know 1 minute before I need to tell them, everything's good and that's the plan, and I can work that out and I can react in a cool, calm, collected way. Because training coach stuff, there's a skill to that isn't just in the knowledge. And you can go through those steps and give that confidence of knowing when actually you might just be a day ahead of them on what you're doing, but you get that right outcome and that support to people, and yourself you're not panicking because you've got that right level of knowledge for what you're doing at the time.
I've got better with it than what I used to. I used to be really bad, but I think I used to see it kind of as you described it earlier, as if I don't know, then that's a weakness.
I think that's a natural thing. I think that's where most people's default starts until you start working on it.
Yeah, and then as more time's gone on, I just feel like I got fed up of answering so many questions on just anything that I was like, oh, somebody else. And then it started bothering me less and less. I still do it occasionally if it's something that I'm passionate about and I'm not quite 100% what it is, but I'm definitely a lot better than what I used to be 4 or 5 years ago.
Love that. And as I say, sort of on your point, I don't know if it's an age thing or just I don't know. It's just a general thing. I don't know. But I'll give you another example. Is that I'm coaching an author at the moment. I know nothing about writing a book, like nothing at all. But I'm coaching them, right? I don't know how. I don't need to know how to write the book. All I've got to do is to make sure they're shaping the goal in the right way that puts them in the right direction, and then to take steps. And that's the beauty of coaching, actually, is that whole thing of setting the smallest step, like you said, Lee. Right? What is the most important thing I need to be doing by next time? It's this, okay. And your coach is there to hold you accountable. So next time we come together, what happened with that step? Did it work? Did it happen? Did it not? If it didn't happen, there's no judgment. What was it important? Was it not important? How do you move forward? And then if it did happen, we celebrate and okay, what's next? And celebrate that and move forward. And then that's gradual iteration. And that's the beauty. That's why I love coaching so much, because it's, you just can push people forward. Doesn't matter if you're an expert or not. You can be an expert and coach. The downside of being an expert and coaching is that you can solutionize too much in your mind and you're not as curious. And that can be a downfall for coaching because you're not asking that curious question.
Yeah.
Of course, there's advantages as well, because if you know the answer, you can mentor more, right? You can probably give the benefit of your experience. So it's a double-edged sword, but I love this because even if you are an SME or a subject matter expert, you're not going to know all the answers. And I think there's a lot of value in what both of you have said there. So, yeah, I really love that. Just want to shout out Sharon, thank you for following. Appreciate that. Thanks for that. Cheese Grater's joined. We've got Cheese Grater in the house. Cheese Grater's been I've seen AS join as well. Thanks, Frizzle, for liking this live as well and moderating and highlighting and stuff. I really appreciate you. So thank you so much to Cheese Grater. I hope your studies are going well. Let me know. But anyway, just throw the ball back to you. Just want to give some shouts on TikTok because there's some people I recognise that are joining, which is fabulous, by the way.
It's good to have the support there for the nation. As I say, overall, I was looking for something, and this was, I think, it's an important one for me. Is that whole knowledge isn't power. But no, don't wrong. Like you said, curiosity thing. Not telling you not to educate yourself and learn things and everything like that. But knowledge is out there. It's more accessible than it's ever been before. And I think that there was a time where it wasn't so accessible. So knowing things was like that was the PowerPoint, and it's not now. So don't be intimidated by thinking people know more than you. You need to know more than you do. It's all you can constantly learn and teach yourself, and it's not a weakness to not know something. The problem comes when you get barriers that stop you learning. I guess that's the inspirational message I want to kind of push out for people. Is just keep being curious and don't be intimidated.
Yeah, and I think it'd be really uncomfortable though when you don't know, when you feel quite vulnerable. It can be a very vulnerable
Yeah, that's it. And
situation.
it's
So
building that
it can
confidence,
really
and
feel,
that's
especially
okay.
especially when you've got people in the room who are waiting to hear information or whatever, or they're there for a reason. They want to get this point, and they ask a question. You think, oh, I know what the answer is to that. And the classic trainer trick is, it's not a trick, it's actually a really good thing. Is like, look, let's park that question, but I'll come back to it, and I'll go find out and bring it back. That's a really good thing. And it also shows you care about your audience, that look, I'm going to write it up or put it somewhere, and I'm going to come back to you on that. Or even after the training, I'll come back to you, and you do go back to them. It's a really powerful thing because it shows you care. And I think there's a lot of value in that. But yeah, I love that, Lee.
That's what I'm here for.
No,
Bringing
it's
the
a really good
inspo.
subject. Yeah, and again with like Chat GPT and all the chat things now, I mean they're super. I mean I keep going back to AI. I don't know why I keep going to, but
It's
the
on the
amount
brain.
that they know, the amount that AI knows right now is just incredible.
We
Like
see. I can't remember what
just
one it's for,
incredible.
but one of the phone manufacturers. I don't know if it's a Samsung one or Google one or Apple, what it is, but they're advertising an AI thing, and one of the things it says is, um, if you need a subject explaining to you, I can do that, and it's like that's the level of information we've got in our hands now, that you can get something to to explain something out to you that you're not sure about, and being comfortable to be like, no, I don't know, and I'm going to ask the question. And it's just, yeah, we've got greater access to everything than we ever have before, and AI is becoming a big piece of that puzzle.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like a magic box to me. But yeah, I totally agree. It's so easy. Like before, we didn't have the internet, and now we've got just at your fingertips. It's literally just a question to this amazing Chat GPT or whatever one you want to, Claude, whatever one you want to use, and you've got this access and incredible explanations as well. Not just any, it's like a really good explanation.
Yeah.
It's like amazing. Yeah,
Do you
I'm very
remember?
excited.
Do you
Yeah,
remember a
go
world
on.
before the internet, Ryan? Just jumping onto Joe's statement there about before
Oh,
the
here we go.
internet, because I think no,
Uh,
not you, because
Here we go.
I do as well. I just
Go on.
think it's
Yeah, I do.
interesting
Yeah.
that when you get to that point where it's
uh,
native, where you've never not known any different.
Mm.
I was terrible
I
with
think it
listening there.
was. I think I must have been about 13 or 14 when it started to really start to take off. So that would have been 2008, 2009.
What are you talking about? The internet was well in before then.
Yeah, no. But it was.
That's where
That's when I
social
remember it
media
going
clicked
from.
in and smartphones came
Yeah,
in. Yeah. So
it
2008 was
was.
when the first iPhone came in, and it went from nerds on their computers to everyone having it on the phone. That's a good point, actually.
I was only used. I was only exposed to the internet before that age via a dial-up system rather than via what a normal
Oh, yeah.
broadband system is now. So that might also be why I'm influenced that way.
Yeah, and actually,
Um,
that's a bit, and
but
maybe my. Sorry, go on.
as soon as the doors opened, it was I was in, and that was it. I then wanted to play computer games online. I wanted to talk to my friends online. I wanted to do everything, and then it just changed my entire foresight of what life was. I feel like my age and generation is the last generation that can truly say that they experienced time both before and after the click of social media and
And
smartphones and
that's
things like
actually the
that.
big difference, because, like you said, it was there. I mean, I had my computer doing it from 2000 onwards, but it was a very different internet to what we've got now. And actually, the big difference as well, which you put on there, is it's the cultural adoption. I think initially it was a nerd a game. Being a gamer wasn't the norm; it was the exception. Whereas now I'd say
Yeah,
it's almost the norm, if you like. And having
yeah,
access to the internet, using the internet, you're deep. Oh, I'll go and look that up. Was what your nerdy computer people did, who were kind of the minority, not the majority. And I think, yeah, social media and smartphones have now made it that it's the exception if you don't live on the internet, whereas before that it was very much the other way round. Yeah,
yeah.
it's a good view on that, which I know is a complete sidebar from what we were talking about, but it's just really interesting because I lived through that days when it was the, you know, computer nerds basically, and there's no such thing. It's just
Yeah.
everyone has it now. It's
No.
just commonplace.
And do you know what I saw interesting the other day, talking about your adoption curves and stuff like that? Now the internet, since the internet, anything that's on the internet, the adoption curve is so much quicker. People adopt it really quick. Like you think of an app that launched, or ChatGPT when it launched. ChatGPT is one of the quickest things that or chatbots in general that have been adopted so quickly. Like the fastest you'd ever know. Like it's like it was, I think what was it? I think if there was a graph, it was brilliant. Actually, this guy called David Shapiro on YouTube, go check it out. But literally, if you look at TV on telephones, it took ages to be adopted because people didn't believe in it. But because the internet is so accessible, if you launch it on the internet, and people just adopt it.
Yeah, and I guess if you put an app out there, your distribution is 100% straight away because it's on the app. Yeah. You don't have to go anywhere. Everyone's got it on their app store ready to take straight away, haven't they? Yeah, I mean, like you download the app, that's it. Oh, I've got it. Like crazy. But no, I love this. And going back to your thing about knowledge, Lee, I think I really loved something you said a long time ago, actually. This was before ChatGPT. I don't know if you remember you saying a particular comment, and this is the comment you said. There's no longer need to remember anything. It's all about just know where to find it. Yeah, and what to do. Application. I know.
I love that.
This ties to this. I truly believe that is, it's not... Yeah. Everything is accessible to everyone. Knowledge isn't the key. It's what you do with it. The finding is the key. That's brilliant, isn't it? It's so true. What you said there is so true that, you just go find it's just there. You just know where to find, look. But now it's even easier now, is it? Just go tap it on the on the chat. And it's just like it finds it like crazy. This is no excuse now for like not learning something. It's just like, and again, and that's the beauty. I mean, I suppose that's the future of classrooms. If you don't know, you could just chat. That is going to be the thing, isn't it? That you're just going to go, well, everyone's got a pocket. Like, they just search it. It will just be there. Oh, well, that's the answer. Well, I love it. No, and I think what you're going back to your original thing, Lee, about, is what you do when you don't know. I think it's a real reflection of the growth that a human goes through, and it's really nice, Ryan, to hear your story that now you're getting more comfortable with that. And I definitely, when I was younger, I definitely was very uncomfortable with not knowing, and definitely and I'm sure
leaned into the other side. Yeah,
exactly the same journey as well.
Yeah, loved it. No, but I've really loved this, Lee. Oh, Joe's in the house, by the way. Joe, thank you so much for joining. Joe, how are you? Joe's the resident plumber, by the way. He's been ripping out a bathroom. Okay. I've been asking how he's getting on. So Joe's just joined. Joe, welcome, Joe. Hello, mate. Yep, hello. You just said hello. You said hello. Just saying hello.
Hello, Joe.
It's like I've got to get to know my community now. Like I chat to them every day.
Absolutely love it. And again, cool. Just to wrap off, if you want to join in with that, Jose Noya, Inspiration Nation, stick that in your Google machine. TikTok and YouTube are the places to be. They'll come up in the first few links. Just follow, click to get notifications. You'll be told when we are going live every single week, and you can join in just like a significant number of people done today. Look at those likes. My squinty eyes won't read it, Joe, but it looks like we're in the thousands. Is that right?
Yeah, we're at 3.7k likes, Joe. I've just seen Taylor as well. Just joined. Hello, Taylor. How are you doing? Welcome. So it's great. It's great to see people coming back, and so it's lovely. I'm going to give shout out to Cloud9. And usually comes on. Cloud9's doing marketing at uni, but they're drowning work at the minute. But they usually try and join. So just getting to know some people, it's lovely. And Frizzle's always here, moderating and getting rid of trolls for me, so thank you, Frizzle, for protecting my community.
But this is brilliant. What it's always been about, building this inspiring community maybe, but definitely community where we try we bounce off of each other, inspire each other through what we're doing and all of our own growth. So it's fantastic stuff. Right, so anything less to cover off before I count us down, and we'll be back again next week?
Did you want to do takeaways there? I don't know if there's a takeaway moment here, but
I was
just asking.
There definitely is. There definitely is. Mine is, and I love it, and it's my bit said, is knowledge is not power. Ooh, learning is. Jose, what have you got? You can follow that.
I'm just I'm just saying, be comfortable not knowing. That's mine. It's okay.
And Ryan Griffey Boniface.
You took both of the good ones.
Sorry, Ryan.
Use all the resources that you can if you don't know the answer to something, whether that's ChatGPT or somebody that may know the answer that can teach you, or anything along those lines. Use the resources that are nearest you to be able to get those questions answered.
Love that. Love that. Also, just to let you know as well, Ryan and Lee, this was just pinned up. 4K likes.
I was just going to call out the same thing. Perfect stuff.
Oh, sorry, Lee.
No. It's brilliant. I love it. Everyone in the community, we really appreciate this great interaction today. So I will now count us down. We will be back next week. 3, 2, 1. Inspiration Nation.
Inspiration Nation.
Catch you guys later.
Catch you guys later.
All right. Thank you, Sophie.